Okay. I think we. All right. Good evening and welcome to the Ann Arbor District Library and hosting the 2024 Sustainability Series with A20. My name is Steve. I'm with the Ann Arbor District Library, and again, we welcome you to this forum. Just as a quick note, quick housekeeping tip: if you need the bathroom, if you exit this room, turn left and then turn right. The bathrooms are right across from the drinking fountain. Again, if you need those. We are streaming this on our website as well as recording it for future use on YouTube, which means if you do have any questions, we do ask that you ask them into the microphone so that gets captured in to our recording. So without further ado, I will pass it off to them.
All right, thank you so much. I am Grace Franke. I'm the Communications Coordinator at the Office of Sustainability and Innovations, and I am delighted to present to you all, get to know HERD, the Home Energy Rating Disclosure Ordinance. Today, we'll be hitting a lot of hot topics. First, we'll start with introductions of our two lovely panelists, coworkers of mine at the Office of Sustainability and Innovations. They've got a lovely presentation they've worked on that they are excited to share with you. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A and time for discussion with questions from the audience, and then we'll close it out. And with that, we've got other sustainability series coming up. We've got 3 more, which are the last Wednesday of the month. At the same time, 6 to 7:30. So if you would like to join us for more discussions on these topics, we encourage you to join us. Without further ado, I would love to pass it over to our speakers, Steve and Jarrell.
Thank you, Grace. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'll start with the introductions, and then I will let Jarrell introduce himself, and then we'll get right into the material today. My name is Steve Christensen. I'm an energy assessor with the City of Ann Arbor's Office of Sustainability and Innovations. I've been working with residential energy efficiency since 2000. I hold a lead for home credentials, Green Rater credentials, ResNet HERS Rater, and relevant to the conversation today, I'm a home energy score assessor as well. Started at the City of Ann Arbor Office of Sustainability in October, specifically to work on rolling out this ordinance to the city, and I'm real excited to talk about it today. I think it's going to be a great thing for the city and a great thing for residential energy efficiency. And Jarrell, why don't you introduce yourself?
Appreciate it, Steve. My name is Jarrell Wiley. Been with the city since September, so few days before Steve. I'm an energy analyst for the city. Brought in just for the HERD, specifically for the work on the HERD. I've been in the industry since 2016, mostly working on residential home assessments. I am HES certified assessor, so I'm just excited about HERD, the opportunity it has for the workforce, opportunity it has for the community, and also ultimately meeting the A20 goal for the city overall.
You can see our contact information on the slide as well, so feel free to contact us about HERD, and you can always go to the A2Gov website, search HERD, and you also find our contact information there. Let's get started with the objectives.
Sounds good.
All right. I always like to talk about what we want to talk about, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about, and then we'll make sure that we told you what we wanted to tell you, because we got some important stuff for you today. So hopefully, by the end of this presentation, everybody here will be able to explain the purpose of the Home Energy Rating Disclosure Ordinance. We want everyone to understand the why of the ordinance. Once we get a good sense of why we decided to implement this ordinance, we want folks to understand how to comply with this ordinance. We're going to talk about what triggers compliance, who needs to be aware of the ordinance because they need to follow the requirements of the ordinance. Once we get a good understanding of how you comply with the ordinance, what you'll learn, well, it's the Home Energy Rating Disclosure Ordinance. We're going to talk about the energy rating portion of HERD, the middle name of the HERD ordinance. We're going to talk about the home energy score. That is the energy rating that we are using as the energy rating tool for compliance with the HERD ordinance. So we're going to talk about how to interpret the home energy score, what it means, how you can use it to better understand your home's energy usage. Once we get a good handle on how to interpret the home energy score, we're going to talk about how you can schedule one for your home. So especially if you need to comply with the HERD ordinance, we're going to give you the resources you need to know to get that home energy score assessment done. We're going to, once you get that scheduled, we're going to let everybody here know what to expect when a home energy score assessor shows up at your door. Obviously, once you get a home energy score done, you're going to get a number. You're going to learn about that number, and some people might not like that number they get. They might want to improve that number. So we're going to talk about what you need to do to improve that number if you get one and you're not happy with what you see. And as we talk about this stuff, you'll notice that there's a lot of terms that could get kind of confusing. You got the HERD ordinance, you got the HES, home energy score. You're going to learn about the HEA, home energy advisor program. We're going to help everybody kind of distinguish all those different services so everybody knows which one of those services are for you. There we go. Real quick timeline here. City Council passed the Home Energy Rating Disclosure Ordinance in September of 2023, and it goes into effect on March 12th. That's in a couple weeks from now. Now, it goes into effect, but per the ordinance, we do not have an enforcement mechanism until September 8th. So there's going to be a 6-month period where we're going to try really hard to make sure that everybody's in compliance. We will not be levying any fines for noncompliance. We'll be sending a lot of nasty emails. We'll be working really hard to make sure people are coming into compliance, but we will start actually enforcing the ordinance with fines starting September 8th of 2024. And then obviously, if this is a program that's to serve the citizens of the city of Ann Arbor, we're going to be reporting on its progress, and we're going to be reporting on the benefits of the ordinance to City Council. And our first report on the ordinance's implementation will be on September 8th of 2025. So let's talk about why we did the ordinance. There's two legislative intents as to why we did the ordinance. The first intent is it's about customer protection. We wanted to make an ordinance that would make information available to people who are purchasing a home. We wanted to give them information that would help them make a better, more informed choice about what they're getting themselves into. The Home Energy Rating Disclosure Ordinance, with the use of disclosing this energy rating, this energy score, that energy score is going to provide buyers information on what the potential energy costs of that home that they're considering buying could be. The mortgage is not the only monthly bill people get. People have to be aware of what they might be spending every month on energy, and that home energy score is going to help people anticipate what that amount might be. So that's the customer protection aspect of the Home Energy Rating Disclosure Ordinance. There's a second purpose, ordinance purpose for the HERD ordinance, and that is to build awareness. Simply by knowing what your energy use is might, and we hope will, influence people to take action, especially if they see that number and they're like, that's a pretty big number. I'd like that number to be smaller. We want people to really start connecting their energy costs with their energy usage, hope to influence them to want to reduce those energy costs, which will then reduce their carbon emissions. Because we have another reason besides the legislative or the ordinance intent for the HERD, and that is the 820 goal. So Jarell and I, working for the Office of Sustainability and Innovations, one of the main things we try to do in the office is promote the 820 goal to make a just and equitable transition to a carbon-free future by the year 2030. We listed our 7 strategies for pursuing that goal, But we really see the herd ordinance with building awareness, with having people connect their energy use to energy costs to energy emissions. We really see this ordinance is helping move towards that carbon-free community that we're moving towards by 2030. So once again, there's the customer protection aspect of the ordinance, there's the raising awareness aspect of the ordinance, and then there's also this overarching goal of moving towards carbon neutrality that's part of the 820 goals.
How to comply. So it's pretty straightforward. How to comply. Property prior to listing needs to have a energy assessment to attain an energy assessment score. If you're going outside of the city for the free assessment, you have to make it available to your real estate agent, potential buyers, and to us at OSI. Also, the HES score has to be at least in one listing, so the MLS, a Zillow, and then you must notify OSI as well. Obviously, if you are using OSI to complete the assessment, you don't have to notify us because we already know, but you will have to notify us once it's listed on an MLS listing, things like that. So go to the next slide, please.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, just another housing types. So currently, it's single-family detached homes, side-by-side townhomes, no multiple dwellings stacked vertically, manufactured homes, or mobile homes. Also included no commercial buildings. It's a totally different program. So it's pretty straightforward. So if you live in a condo that's stacked on top of each other, you don't have to worry about it. So side-by-side detached homes. It's pretty straightforward. Next slide.
All right. So we've talked about what triggers folks needing that home energy score, and like I said, it's the seller. Once they decide they're going to sell that home, they're going to want to contact OSI or a home energy score assessor to get a home energy score report. Well, we're going to talk about the home energy score report next. As I said, that is the energy rating that is part of the home energy rating disclosure. And the reason OSI chose this particular energy assessment tool, because there are other tools out there that people can use to assess homes' energy usage. You've got the HERS index, but what we like about the home energy score is that, well, it's a reliable tool. This has been a tool that has been developed by the Department of Energy. They started working on the home energy score in around 2018 was the first time that I started seeing it. It's been through many iterations and it's been updated. We have folks that are working on updating it and improving it as we speak. And so we really feel good about the reliability of the information that it's giving us. The other thing we like about the home energy score is it's quick. It's an assessment. It's not a full energy audit. It's a very narrow assessment focused on determining what the energy usage of the house is. So these assessments can be done by a home energy assessor in the home, and usually they can gather the information they need in the home between 45 minutes and an hour, and it might take them about another 45 minutes to get that information into the home energy score tool to generate the home energy score. And the third thing we like about the home energy score as our assessment tool is it's easy to understand. As you'll see, it's a number. It's a number between 1 and 10. And it's a real easy number that people can then use to compare against other homes to make better decisions about what home they might choose to buy. So let's talk a little bit about the score, which, like I said, it's a number. Simply a number, and it's a number between 1 and 10. And what that number represents is where that home stands is far as energy uses relative to the other homes in the area. To kind of make it real simple for you, if you come out, we come out, do a home energy assessment, you get your home energy score, let's say you get a 5. What that basically means is there are just as many people with energy inefficient homes as there are with more energy efficient homes, right? You are right down the middle. It's not a bad place to be, right? I mean, no surprises on your energy bill. Now, if you do get a 10, well, then that means that your energy usage is lower than 90% of the people. You are the 1 in 10 that can brag about having the lowest energy bills in your area. If you have a 1, well, then that means you're in the lowest 15% of energy energy inefficient homes, and that's someplace a lot of folks don't want to be. But if you'll notice, you see it kind of makes this kind of bell curve type of thing. Well, what that generally means is about 70% of your scores are going to be, between that 3 and 7 area. So majority of homes, that's generally what the home energy scores, that's the majority of what homes are getting. And that generally means that, you're in the general ballpark of most people's energy usage. One thing to remember about this number, we're rating the home. We're not rating the occupant. So we really hope people don't take this number personal. We've done some homes. People have gotten their score. They're not so happy. The downside of picking a 1 to 10 scale is everybody wants a 10, but as we can see statistically, it's just not going to happen. But what people need to remember is we're rating the home, not the person. As we talk about the things we look at when we do the home energy assessment, you'll notice the things we look at are the size of the house. How's the house insulated? Where's the house located? How old is it? What type of mechanical equipment are inside the homes? Some of the things we don't look at the bills. We don't count the light bulbs. We don't get any information about the refrigerator, because these are all things that the occupant can change. So you might have a house that got a 5, but your energy bills might be as if you're a 7 or an 8. So just keep, we also like to remind people that we're scoring the home, not them. So, we really don't want folks to, kind of take it personal if they get a number that they're not too happy with. The third thing to remember is this isn't a standard. To kind of go back to my previous point, there's no right or wrong number. The number is what it is. It's an assessment of the home. There's no magic way to get a 10. All we're doing is looking at the house and getting a sense of what that energy use could be for that home. And one thing to consider, the size of the home, the bigger the home, like I said, it scores the whole home. So the bigger the home, the more energy it uses. So therefore, the lower that number might be. One thing about the report, along with giving you a number so you can get a sense of what your energy usage might be relative to your area, the report also will give some recommendations for what you can do to lower that number. Any recommendation that the report gives you is going to have a 10-year payback. So there's a lot of measures that are great that don't make it on the report because their lifetimes might be greater than 10 years, but if you don't get a payback in 10 years or less, the report doesn't recommend it. When you get the report, one thing that we're recommending people do is it will include the home facts. So you will see stuff like what we put down for the size of the house, what we put down for the insulation levels of the house. If someone gets a home energy score, one thing they might want to look at, they might want to review those home facts. And if they have any issues with the inputs that were entered by the home energy score assessor, they're welcome to give us a call, and we'll explain why we chose those numbers for you. There's a lot of defaults that we use, so some of the numbers might not match up exactly with what a person might expect they might have for like insulation levels and stuff like that. But we let everybody see our math on that home energy score report with the home facts. And if you have any questions, you can give us a call and we can go over it with you.
I'm going to go back one.
Oh, sure.
One thing I do want to make a distinction is square footage, right? So usually when we think of square footage, we think of living space. On the HES score is the conditioned space. So most of the time, if we include the basement, if there's a vented in the basement, we'll include that in the conditioned square footage. So you might see a distinction on that. So.
Yeah, and as we said, the larger the home is, generally that might drive down, that's more energy use, more space. So that's, that is a consideration when you start thinking about what your score might be.
Schedule a free assessment. That's what, everybody loves free, right? So you go to our website, osi.a2gov.org/heard. It looks just like that on the screen. There's a click right there to schedule. It's pretty straightforward. Has all the information. You put in your personal information, address, the reason why you set an appointment, or if you think you qualify for an exemption, there's a field right there. You provide the documentation for exemptions, and we take it from there. So myself or Steve would make sure you get scheduled, get everything set up for you.
Might be real quick to cover the exceptions too, just real quick. Yeah, we basically, as we did, some of the exceptions that we have on the form. As we said, it's a public listing of an existing home. Yeah. So anything like in probate or that's transferred between relatives, those aren't considered public listings, so you wouldn't have to get a home energy score.
For sale by owner, not for sale by owner, excuse me, but a bank-owned property wouldn't be considered for a HURD. So we won't make a bank get a HURD assessment. For sale by owner, you would still need one as well.
We list all those exceptions on that form too, so you can review those, make sure that you're exempt. Hey, how are you?
So how is it different from DEA scoring? Is it different from DEA that sends reports every month for us?
So are you talking about, and I will repeat the question. So you're asking, how is what we're giving, the information, the home energy score, how would that be different from something that DTE gives us? Yeah, it's kind of similar. The one thing that DTE does that we don't do is they rate it good, better, best. So I guess you could kind of say a home energy score, your 1 to 3s, or your 8 to 10s would be a good, or your 3 to 7s would be a good. Maybe your 8 and 9s would be better, and your 10s would be best. It's a different assessment tool because once again, what DTE is looking at is the person. So that would be one big difference between what DTE tells you and what we tell you. Because DTE is looking at your usage in your house. But thanks for letting us reiterate this distinction. The home energy score assesses the home. So as we've said earlier, your home might score a 5. But if you have good habits, that doesn't mean that your energy usage might necessarily reflect that, right? You can have good habits and actually use less energy than what this home energy score says your energy usage could be. Because remember what we're using this for. Customer protection. We're trying to provide information. And we want to give people a sense as to generally what that energy usage could be, all things being equal and using all your energy in an average way. So that's how it's distinct from DTE. DTE is looking at you. We're just looking at the house. Mm-hmm. Next slide.
Yes, sir. Schedule for paid assessments. So these are already certified HES assessors within in and out of Ann Arbor. Some are here now. I see Doug King and Robert Kraus, so they're here already. So you can reach out to them. If you don't want to go through us, go through the city for an appointment, you can definitely reach out to them directly. We do encourage that as well, because we don't want to be the only ones out here doing the work. So, and then you can go to, it's located on the Better Buildings Solution Center website. They can have that information for you.
We also have a hyperlink directly to this actual page as well. So if you go to our webpage, you can either click to schedule a free assessment with us, but we're also providing a link to get to this information as well. we understand that this is a market that's growing. We're here to do free ones to help support that market, help shape what this can look like. But we absolutely are looking to build this market and really, make this something that everybody's aware of, and it's just a part of doing business in this city. So we're really looking forward to this list growing, and we're also looking to. Thanks, guys, for coming. We appreciate the home energy score assessors that came this afternoon, because we're all partners in this. So,
Yep.
next slide.
Yes, sir. What to expect? So in this picture, you might see Steve walking around your house for trying to get the measurements. Attic access, measuring the attic installation, the type. Measuring the windows. On the next slide, you're going to see looking at the mechanicals, as far as the furnace, water heater, air conditioner, heat pump, whatever you have in the home. So it's really straightforward what we're looking at. Like I said, we're just looking at the home itself. We're not looking at your habits or your thermostat or anything like that. We're looking at the mechanicals, the age, and the efficiency of the equipment. And go to the next slide. Also, if there's any documentation for any upgrades, pictures or documents showing any, dense pack in the walls, things of that nature, please provide that information to us so we can add that to the report, because that can have an effect on the score. We also ask that you clear out the, usually most attics are located in the closet space. So if you can clear that space out for us, that'll help us, just easy access. But that way, if installation comes down, it doesn't get on your clothes or things like that. If not, we do have tarp available, so we can make that happen as well. But it just helps us out if that space is clear. So it's pretty straightforward. You can still, some people work from home, so if you need to be on a call or something like that, or you taking, working, feed the kids, whatever you're doing, you can still do that. You don't have to follow us around or anything like that. Just make sure everything's available for us. Make sure that space is clear. So pretty much it on that.
Yeah, and the reason we mentioned having documentation of any improvements in the home, we really can't put anything in that home energy score tool. We cannot put any data in that tool that we cannot verify, see, or document. So, if someone is telling us that they had stuff done to their home, if we want to add that, we're gonna have to see some documentation to make the DOE, when they do QA on us, happy and know that these folks are putting in the correct data points and they're all justified and verified. So that's why we do ask, if you have had some work done, we need some help on that. We're not really interested in drilling holes. We want to try to be in and out as soon as possible, just so we don't inconvenience folks. So any information folks can bring is super helpful to us. Next slide.
Yes, sir. What to expect, how to locate it. So if you are a seller or someone interested in looking at a home and looking for the home energy assessment score, it's free information. So go to stream.a2gov.org. It's a free website. Click on the search button and then type in for inspection and then type in the address, and the report should be there probably within the week of after the initial appointment. So if it's listed, it should be already there if they're following the ordinance correctly. So it's pretty straightforward. And also on that stream it lists any other inspections they might have had on the property if they added, a deck or sun porch, anything like that. Those inspections are listed there as well.
If you're getting the home energy score done through the city of Ann Arbor, obviously we'll be uploading that for you. But if you will be working with an independent home energy score assessor, we will have an FTP site up soon, hopefully March 4th, for outside assessors who are doing home energy scores outside of our partnership, so they can then upload. So if you hire somebody, they get you your home energy score, you will go to the HERD website, the same place you went to find that home energy score assessor, and we will have an FTP site for people to upload documentation that they are in compliance with the home energy score. Another thing that we need folks to upload to OSI is proof that you have published the home energy score. As we mentioned, in complying with it, along with having the home energy score done, along with telling us that you have it so we can put it in stream so people can find it on stream, we also need to know that you published it in some sort of listing. And we define, what we consider a listing in the ordinance, which would be, an internet listing, a print listing, any sort of real estate listing. We just need to know the URL where we could find it, or you could even just upload a PDF of that listing. And all of that stuff, the home energy score will be publicly available. The advertisement information just goes to OSI, and we just need to make sure it's in there for compliance. Next slide.
I think that, yeah.
So what improves the score? So we've talked about the ordinance, we talked about the home energy score, we talked about where to find the home energy score once they're done. Let's talk about, what might improve a score. If folks, get their score and they're not happy and they're thinking why they got the number they got, well, let's talk about, this little bar graph we made. We kind of just took the home energy scores we've done so far this year. We've done 15 so far this year, and we plotted their home energy scores. Kind of looks kind of familiar to the slide we had very early about how they actually create the scores. It kind of makes a little bell curve, and same as when they, how they generate and create the bins for the home energy scores. The majority of our home energy scores were falling between the 4s and the 7s. So, a lot of people, when we show up, well, here's a tip. If you want to get along with your home energy score assessor real well, don't say, "What do you think my score is going to be?" Because we don't know. The tool figures it out, and don't put us in that position to try to look into the future, because we will probably just get ourselves in trouble. That being said, this is what we're seeing. The homes, and as it turned out, it's about 2% of the homes we went to scored a 1 or a 2. The homes that were 1s or 2s, they were big homes. That's one. They were either a very big home that didn't have a lot of insulation. They might have had insulation in the attic, but none in the walls. These bigger homes usually have more than one furnace, more than one air conditioner, and usually one, if not both, of those furnaces or air conditioners were not very high efficient. We had some smaller homes, but to be honest with you, smaller homes, they generally score better just because they're smaller and don't use as much energy. But if you were a big home, had standard low efficient equipment, no insulation in the walls and very little in the attic, those were the ones in the 2s.
Also, age affects the score as well. Because if we can't see inside the walls, there's defaults the program provides for us. So we automatically go to those defaults. So if your house is built in the 70s instead of the 2000s, different standards for efficiency. So it's going to make an impact on the score.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, vintage is another thing for certain. So the majority of the homes, like we said, were scoring between a 4 and a 7. That's been our experience so far. I'm pretty certain that's going to be our experience moving forward. This is something we're going to continue to look at as we continue the program. But these, the majority of the homes were, average size. We averaged it all together. The average is actually 2970, because truth be told, we actually had a couple pretty big homes that actually still scored 5s and 6s because they had those higher efficiency mechanicals and had some better insulation. So there were some larger homes that scored a 5, but if you're a big home and you want to at least get a 5, you got to have some pretty good insulation, pretty good equipment. So, one thing we did notice, which was semi-interesting, larger new homes that were built to code minimum, they scored a 5. That's pretty good if you're a big home and you're still scoring a 5. But like you said, they were built within the last 3 to 4 years, but they were built to the code minimums, and we were able to put that in the tool, and they scored about 5s and 6s.
Yeah, all 5s and 6s aren't equal though. So the usage might be different on a 5 and a 6. So a large size home that's a 6, and you have a medium sized home that's a 5. That means that the larger size home is using the same energy as a smaller size home. So even though you got a 6, it doesn't mean it's all bad. So.
Absolutely, but it was very hard to explain that to that person that was not happy with their score. But it was that's exactly what we told them. I said, your house is twice as big as some townhomes we go to, and your energy bills are per the tool are pretty much the exact same. That's actually something to be proud of. But like you said, everybody wants a 10.
Yeah.
So, and really what the thing I've noticed in a lot of these homes that I think is really what's kind of making it difficult for them to really get out of that 5 to 7 is they have what I call an incomplete thermal envelope. They might have insulation in the attic, but it's not great, and they would have 0 in the walls. Or if they did pay for insulation, they, for some reason, would only pay for them on 2 walls, and they wouldn't put that coat all the way around the house. So, incomplete thermal envelope, standard efficiency mechanicals, even if it's a smaller home, these were things that I think kind of helped these homes that I thought, you'd think would do better, but that incomplete thermal envelope really affected that score and kind of kept them in that 5 to 7 range. The 9s and the 10s, they had, what we call a complete thermal envelope. That conditioned space, the space that you pay to heat and cool, was completely enclosed with full insulation and completely air sealed. You had good attic insulation, good wall insulation, good foundation insulation, and everything was air sealed. They all had that complete thermal envelope, and they all had high efficiency HVAC equipment and hot water mechanicals serving the conditioned space. If you had those 2 things, your chances of getting closer to a 9 and 10 were really good. You put some renewables in there, that was the 10 had that complete thermal envelope, super high efficiency HVAC and water heater, and they had renewables. That was our 110. That sounds about right to me.
Should we tell them who was the 10? Or
No, we should keep that
All
quiet.
right, no
Sorry,
problem.
yeah.
All right, no problem.
If they choose to disclose.
Okay,
we
no
could,
problem.
yeah.
All right, cool.
Well, so we've talked a lot about the home energy score. We talked about the HERD ordinance. As we said, there's other stuff that I'm sure people, there's other programs out there that we want people to be aware of because, I like the home energy score. Excuse me. I think the service Jarell and I and our contractors provide is super helpful. But fact of the matter is, the free home energy score might not be what you're looking for. The good news is we have other programs coming that, even if people come to us and they might not be right for what we're asking for, we're going to try to get them to the program they need. And the reason I say that is because remember, the service that Jarell and I are providing is a home energy score so people can comply with the home energy rating disclosure ordinance. We're really serving a narrow purpose with what we're trying to do and what we're doing with the millage dollars that are paying for this service. So we want to make sure that we keep this program focused on helping compliance with the HERD. There are other programs that are coming that, if you want to learn more about energy usage in your home, if you want to learn more about what your energy costs might be, yeah, home energy score is going to tell you, but what Jarell and I can do might not be what you're looking for when we have other programs at OSI. One program that they're going to be talking about pretty soon on May 29th is the Home Energy Advisor Program. Good news about the Home Energy Advisor Program, guess what you get with the Home Energy Advisor Program? You get a home energy score, but it's going to be done not by Jarell or I, it's going to be done by another energy auditor who's going to do a bunch of other stuff. besides just looking at the information you need to generate a home energy score. They're going to be running a blower door so they can see where the leakage is. They're going to be running a blower door so they can quantify how much the leakage is. They're going to be doing combustion safety analysis to make sure that you're not only saving energy, but you're safe in your home. And the purpose of the home energy advisor is really to give that person a path to decarbonization. And so that would be a program more for somebody who's staying in their home. Something that we're going to work real hard at the Office of Sustainability and Innovations is we're going to try to get to those folks that move into the homes that had home energy scores into the Home Energy Advisor program. Wouldn't that be a nice thing, especially if somebody purchased a house and knows it was a 4 and wants to get it to a 7? Well, this is a program that, might not be for the person who's selling the home. They just need the home energy score so they can comply with the ordinance. But whoever buys that home, we'd really love it if we can get that person into our Home Energy Advisor program so they can put a plan into action to get that house on the path to decarbonization. So like you said, as much as we'd love to do home energy scores for everybody in the city of Ann Arbor, there are some programs that might be better suited if you're not selling your home. Home Energy Advisor would probably be one of those programs. Another program that's coming on they'll be talking more about the municipal rebates that are funded by the climate millage. This is something we want folks to be aware of, and we're going to be making sure we're educating folks on so they can do the things for their home to get a low home energy score. So once again, what we're providing is really for folks that are trying to comply with the HERD ordinance. That being said, if you're staying in your home, still give us a call, and we'll make every effort to get you to the program that you need if we determine that, hey, you're not selling your home, so a free home energy score by us wouldn't be what you need. But there are other programs out there that will get you to.
Yep. And then also, once you get the home energy advisor, so you get the envelope tightened up, sealed up, and now you get the mechanicals and you all electric, you got to think about solarization at that point. So community solar bulk buy to make it more affordable for people as well. So it's a step-by-step process we're trying to move forward with on the path, as we say.
Exactly.